My name is Harris Kenny, and I'm the founder of IntroCRM. We're a fractional sales agency, and we help bring sales best practices to small sales teams. Overall, I believe that sales is getting exponentially more technical every day, and a lot of salespeople just do not have the time or the resources to keep up. Clients work with us because we do spend all day fixating on email deliverability and list building and all the nuances that require a lot of time and energy in order to actually get your message in front of people. It's just the beginning of the process, and our customers all have sales teams who are then being supported by our work, being supported by the leads that we're generating, and being supported by the leads that we're qualifying and setting appointments, getting on their calendar. So what does that mean? Well, it means we rely on tools like Clay every day in order to build those lists. We're trying new things like web scraping and new techniques and tactics in order to get the best possible leads at the right time. And this really brings in what I think is a broader conversation right now in the sales community. And that's personalization versus relevance. I think Clay makes that conversation a little bit less interesting, frankly. You have gurus on LinkedIn who talk about that you need to send 5 emails a day and personalize every single one in great detail and spend all this time talking about their personal interests and sports and their dog and whatever, and that's the way to get people's attention. On the other hand, you have folks saying, look, you need to catch people at the right time, relevance, the right signals, the right context for why you're reaching out, for what led to the conversation in the first place. And with Clay, you can do both. We use Clay to hit multiple different sources and then put together a composite picture for why now, right? And then, of course, the offer is really important at the end of the day to really get interest from folks. Before Clay, we were using initially free public data. Then we started paying for databases, and then we started paying for basically the most expensive database I could get my hands on. And we were paying tens of thousands of dollars a year to a data broker, but then we were only able to have the data that they had available. Ultimately, we were still needing to supplement from other sources, or just rely on the same information that everybody else had. When you started using Clay, we weren't reliant on a single database provider or a single type of data. And in fact, with the OpenAI integrations, we can use ChatGPT and GPT-3 to infer and create things that don't even exist in data sets in the first place. Plus using Google and other tools. It has completely transformed how we think about list building. It's really hard to explain the status quo other than it's very fragile. When people subscribe to a single system, it's like they get access keys and access login or whatever. They hand it to an employee and they say, here you go, good luck. And that's it. Those folks are kind of to fend for themselves. And I think that it's not even necessarily about giving them the tools they need to really be successful, but it's just giving them the base set of tools they need to say, here you go, you have access, now do your job. And that's not enough for us. When our clients work with us, they really want us to bring something different, something special. And, I think that's a huge difference between the conventional approach and what we do. And if you can see that in the examples of some of the campaigns that we've done that Clay has enabled. So I think the most interesting things that we're doing involve multiple sources, scraping, using Google and other tools in order to build really unusual lists. An example would be a list of breweries in Colorado that we built for a customer. We found a directory of just companies. We were able to scrape that with Clay, and then we were able to get some additional information. So we scraped Google Maps to see what the reviews for the brewery were, and they were all pretty similar. So I decided to go one step further, and we used Clay to scrape a directory website, basically like a social media platform where people rate different beers. And we were able to find the check-in volume at the tap rooms at these different breweries, total, monthly, and then number of unique visitors. And we were able to add this whole different layer onto the data set for the client in anticipation of doing this campaign. And then we paired that with production volume data from an industry association database. And so now we have this incredible look at 461 breweries in Colorado. And we did this programmatically. We did 461 breweries after we set it in the first place and ran it. We didn't have to go look up 461 different profiles. We didn't have to go manually find all this information. the client was super impressed, and we're going to really, I think, help them reach a goal, which is that they really want to land a customer in this market. And I think that we're going to have a whole other level of personalization that we're going to be able to put into the emails based on the activity that they're seeing in the tap room. I think that's going to be really unique, and I'm really excited about that. It's the kind of thing that they would not have had on their own, and that we were able to bring really because of Clay. We've got a bunch of other different types of campaigns that we've been doing around trade show lead lists. I think we've been using regex or regular expressions to do really interesting drafting of copy so that we're doing more campaign prep work within Clay and able to export send ready campaigns with lots of variables so that, all we need to do at the end is just add a little bit of spin tax in our sending tool, and we're ready to go. And it's the difference between this and getting a single database pull is just night and day in terms of the quality of the list, the relevance, and what we can do ultimately with better copy to get good offer in front of the right people and deliver. I'm so excited about what Clay represents, which I think is the future of sales, frankly. It's using multiple data sources to find the best possible prospects and the best segmentation. And so that when you reach out to them, they feel like there's a reason you reached out to them in the first place. And, the days of really, really random spam emails, I think, are over. And I think the days of sending a couple emails a day are also over. That's not enough. And sending spam is a waste of time. Clay allows you to find the best of both practices and do this work at scale. That's why clients work with us, and that's why I'm really excited to have Clay in our workflow.